Hi guys. So I'm going to be going through Chaturanga today. There's a slight pause in Chaturanga that I don't see people doing while I teach or in class. They kind of just go through Chaturanga kind of like a transition to get into upward facing dog. But it's a pose that we want to experience, and we want to take at least a couple of seconds to pause in it and then move through the next pose. So without further ado, let's get into the pose. So what I have out is I have a blanket that's folded over 3 times just to kind of create a lift. So I'm going to show you how Chaturanga looks like. And I'm going to go on top of this blanket, and it may not even be high enough, but basically you can use something too underneath as support so we can understand what the shoulders are doing here. So bring your hands so that the elbows are directly underneath the wrists. And we'll curl the toes underneath, and notice here, just relaxed, our shoulders, or my shoulder heads, are a little close to my ears, or they're going forward, right? So when we're in Chaturanga, we want to draw the shoulders back away from the ears, okay? And we want to keep the elbows squeezing in towards the sides of our bodies. But we don't want the elbows to be supporting our ribs or our side body when we're holding it. That's not the purpose of what the elbows are doing. So the elbows are just helping, they're assisting in drawing those shoulder heads back and down, and they're helping to engage the triceps, right? So now I'm going to remove the lift underneath me, and I'm coming into plank pose. Wrists underneath shoulders, heels reaching back as the chest opens forward. Okay, belly is nice and firm. On the inhale, shift forward. On the inhale, still bend your elbows, hover, Chaturanga. Notice my shoulders are away from the ears. And then I get into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, if that's the next pose that I want to do, right? I'm just going to take a child's pose here. So I'm going to go back to plank, wrists under shoulders, curl my toes under, really firm the low belly into the back body, open up the collarbones, shift forward, bend, hover, Chaturanga. My elbows are not supporting my side body, and I can push back into plank, and then I can push back into down dog. So just notice what your shoulder heads are doing, what your elbows are doing, and if you are taking that pause in Chaturanga through your sun salutation or anything, if the teacher says Chaturanga, there is a pause, there is a hold, there is a hovering there. Just catching my breath. I did want to mention another thing, that if you're not ready for Chaturanga just yet, there's no problem. So this whole point of practice is a step-by-step graduation, getting into the next pose. And if you're not ready for Chaturanga just yet, that's okay. There is a modified version of Chaturanga. So that looks like coming into plank, right? You're holding plank. You drop your knees down. You flatten out your toes, and you keep your belly firm, right? So the belly is firm, the spine is diagonal now. You shift forward, and you bend your elbows, and you graze the sides of your body with your arms as you go down. So there's a lot of core going on because we're not just flopping down, right? It's a nice controlled movement, slow and controlled movement. It's a bending, pause, pause, because we still have to contract the core. We're still pushing the shoulder heads away from the ears as we go down. So actually, there's a lot more work in modified chaturanga than the classic. Just so you know, there's a lot more core work because you have to go a little slower and you have to make sure that it's slow and controlled. So that was modified chaturanga, and that was also classic chaturanga. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see some comments, some feedback, whatever, any questions. If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe to them. Ooh, my little baby hairs are poking out. And be sure to stay connected. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So stay connected. Give me a holler. All right. Bye, guys.